What is our thought process on Jesus, Stevie? Obviously doesn't get the goals that Kun Aguero does, but Craig talked about his movement that was so key in Manchester City's success. Obviously got that second goal, was there. A different role, but does it work for City?
Well, we've won both ties. Yeah. That means it works for City. But the one thing you can't get away from is he's always going to be compared to Aguero. You know, every facet of Jesus' game is absolutely fantastic. You know, his positions he picks up, you know, you can stick him wide and he can cause problems there. He gets himself little bits of space and time in the box. He does absolutely everything. He can connect with the midfielders. He can play passes. But when it comes to finishing, you have to question whether he's world class. And if you're a team the size of Man City and a team that wants to be winning the Champions League, particularly on a regular basis, I'm not so sure you're going to be able to do it without a guy who can put the ball in the back of the net.
But on that point, Craig, Liverpool did exactly that last year with Firmino up front.
Yeah, but for me, I think Firmino's, certainly in his performances, well, he's played more games and that helps, and he's got more continuity, but he brought a bit of everything to Liverpool. I know the goals dried up near the end this season, but he brought a goal threat. He brought a physicality that I think people were surprised about, which Jesus has as well, to be fair. His link-up play, and almost more importantly, he works his socks off back into midfield as an extra midfielder to win the ball back. So he gives Liverpool a little bit of everything, which is, I suppose, Jesus is maybe a Firmino light in that respect, is that he doesn't get as much game time because of Sergio Aguero. But you look at some of the goals in this two-legged tie, Dan. The first mistake from Varane, who was it to get onto the end of it and who was sharp? Jesus. Mm-hmm. The second mistake from Varane, who was it to get on the end of it and the sharpness? Jesus. Think back to the bad pass from Casemiro that ended up with the Ramos red card in the 86th minute in the Bernabeu on the first leg. Who was it that pounced on it? Jesus. So he does lots. I know, Stevie, I agree. I think Aguero is the better goal scorer. But there's so many other things to his game that he brings to the team that I think Guardiola quite likes.
You know, if you think back to this year's Champions League, Dan, you and I had an argument on the show, and you said that Liverpool were knocked out because they didn't score enough goals, and I disagreed. And I said, well, no, they'd already had 2 goals, and the goalkeeper was the reason they were out. Well, if you have an Ian Rush or an Aguero or a Lineker or somebody like that, then that could have been the difference between Liverpool winning another Champions League this year. So that's kind of where I'm going when I talk about Jesus. He's got every other facet of his game is fantastic. But that one thing, that one little thing, just might be the reason why Man City don't get over the line in the end.
And on the other side of the coin, Dan, Real Madrid, we know they had great success domestically this year, and that's what they were chasing, because, Barcelona have dominated, and it doesn't matter how you do it. It's just you make sure you do it. But I don't think there'll be many that would disagree that at times it was not the swashbuckling Real Madrid that we've known in recent years. But maybe that's why they haven't won the league. So there was a better balance about the team. But the concern would be that in playing that way, how easy it was over the 2 games for City to toy with them. And that's really what they did. They toyed with Real Madrid. And we saw Barcelona yesterday as well, at times, although winning, being pressed back by an average Napoli side. And I think both those sides, although they've been hugely successful in recent years, have got some concerns. And I think, most of the big teams do. But we saw Man City, who have not been at the best this year, for sure, toy with this Real Madrid side in a way I think that was a little worrying. And I think the league is great for them, but I think it's going to paper over 1 or 2 cracks that Stevie mentioned, certainly in the middle of the park.
Yeah, the quality of La Liga definitely has dropped off over recent years. Stevie, one concern maybe for Manchester City is the fact that Benzema, who didn't see too much of them all, but when he did, was always a problem, of course, getting the goal as well, just exposing maybe a little vulnerability at the back.
Yeah, I tell you what, you talk about somebody coming back to the game, Benzema. I mean, the chance that he had as well when he spun at the top of the box and Edison had to make that save was great play, but it was also bad defending. So, how many times have we said that City defensively have got problems? They need personnel, but I like you say, I've turned into a big fan of Benzema. I thought he did as much as anybody in a Real Madrid shirt to get them back in this game, and yes, he scored the goal, but that turn as well. It could have beaten better defenders also.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.